Okay. My name's Alexandra Sims. I am a neuroscience major and economics minor. I'm a first year, so class of 2028, and I'm running for the Vice President of Communications position. I don't have a current position in USG. Yeah.
Hello, my name is David Ampoma. I'm a first year. I'm a freshman rep. I'm on student life and I'm on the comms committee. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Hi, my name is James Klein. I'm a third year here at Case Western Reserve University, majoring in anthropology, and I am a College of Arts and Sciences representative for USG on the Student Life Committee, and I am running for the Vice President position of VP Comms.
Hi, my name is Eileen Choi and I'm a freshman. I do not currently hold a position on USG, but I am running for Vice President of Communications.
I think the most important aspect would be to obviously encourage a lot of community community like bonding and forming having various activities that are inclusive for everybody, has meets everybody's interest, and then advertising those on social media through email, word of mouth, flyers, anything like that. And in terms of forming those activities, I would say talking to people. I think that's a really big thing, like face-to-face interaction, and kind of finding out what the community wants or needs and meeting those needs in an efficient and inclusive way. And then also by, maybe like a form or something like that, kind of saying what the community would like to see, and being able to accomplish those things.
The most important part, in my opinion, based off of what I've experienced so far on the comms committee, is for sure outreach. Outreach is the biggest thing, because honestly, a lot of the things that you hear on campus about like USG not doing much, just things like that, is part of the problem is just the fact that we're not doing enough outreach. When we do things, we're not just out there saying what we've done, things like that. So that's why we've started something called the initiative tracker. So pretty much it's just every initiative that everyone on USG is doing, and they update it regularly, and that's just basically how we're supposed to let people know what we're doing. So as VP of Comms, we're supposed to be out there, we're supposed to be doing outreach through emails, through social media.
I would say the most important aspect of VP Comms is fostering engagement to the undergraduate population. I feel like a big critique that we have gotten as USG is that we lack engagement with the student body, and I feel like as though VP Comms is like bridging the gap between the student body and admin and USG, and we kind of mitigate the relationship between all three parties. I think that a big aspect of VP Comms is also not just engagement, but also the ways in which that we reach out to students, the avenues that we take, the information that we disseminate. All of these things are really important, especially when you try your best to make sure that every student is well informed. I think that as VP Comms, it's truly important also to remain unbiased. You're presenting information in a way that it's just the information. You don't want to proceed, you don't want to insert any of your own biases or implicit biases into the information that you're presenting to these students. You just want to give them the information, give them the facts, and that be that.
I think that as I was looking at the position descriptions, I think that the most important thing is to just keep the student body super connected in a sense. So what this would basically be is the most important thing I think right now is that the emails are being sent out, and we have certain events like campus groups and things like that. But I think that the most important part is that we should actually work to be bringing students all together, and so they can communicate with us and we can be communicating with them as well. And I think that the way that we could actually go about this, there's a couple ways, but I think that we should be branching out maybe media and things like that, so a lot of students can actually hear more about events that may be happening, like Feedback Fridays, the Mixer, things like that. For the most part, I think that it's just important that we receive feedback from others and also give them updates about what's happening, especially with the current state of things going on. I think it's especially important to keep informed.
Currently, I find a lot of the information through social media or email. I think those are the two main ones, just because, like, you know, you're walking quickly through Tank, you don't really look at all the posters and things like that. But I think they do serve their purpose. So keeping the emails, keeping the social media like Instagram, Twitter, I think it's called X now, Facebook, anything like that, would be really good to promote these kinds of events, or to hear back from the community about, you know, hey, I like this, did you not like this, kind of get some feedback from there. In terms of things that I would want to add, I would say maybe advertising a little bit more efficiently. I know they already have the emails and the social media and things like that, but maybe, you know, sending a few follow-up emails, making sure people see it if it's something that they're interested in, and things like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the biggest thing I would for sure say that everyone is doing is social media. Instagram, you know, TikTok, Twitter, like all of that. That's where most people get their information from. And that's one of the things I'd say that the comms committee really needs to do more of. We need to be more on our Instagram. We need to post more. That's why, as PR chair for Student Life, I've been making a lot of posts, pretty much. So things like the food committee updates, things like that, because we need to get out there more. We need to let people know what's going on campus and letting people know what Student Life and what USG is doing in general. So I'd say that social media is the biggest one, and that's the one that we need to focus on.
Okay, so honestly, it's kind of a hard question to answer because I feel like people get information from so many different sources: word of mouth, the newsletters, side chat, things like that, social media, Snapchat, all these things. There are all these different platforms that people are getting information from, and you don't know if that information is bounced from one person to a different person to a different person, and like messages have been misconstrued. So I feel like as VP Comms, one of the biggest proponents of like my candidacy was having USG be the central location of the information dissemination. I feel like we should be the ones that are at the forefront of presenting information to students. We shouldn't be getting critiques saying that, oh, we didn't know that USG did this, or we didn't know that USG did that. But then GA is saying, oh yeah, guys, we this is our job, this is what we're saying. So I feel as though like as VP Comms, it would be one of like utmost importance to me to make sure that USG, and specifically the communications committee and all of our various connected committees, are disseminating that information properly.
Okay, so I did ask like a couple of my friends, like just to see like how freshmen especially are like kind of getting their news, and obviously a lot of my friends are on campus groups, as I said, and they're like on Instagram, which are like the main modes of communication. But like as I was kind of looking into the position as well, I saw that there were like not there, I don't think they're being used anymore, but there was like a USG like YouTube channel, there was like a Twitter, like an X page, and I was like, these would be like really cool things to like utilize, you know, like over time. And I think that for the most part, my friends were saying that they do also get a lot of their information from the emails. But one thing is like the emails are like a little bit like really, really condensed, and sometimes they're not exactly like put together. So I would say that they would definitely be more accessible if we had like organization or like table of contents to it. But that's mostly how like my friends were getting it.
So I'm a first year. So Feedback Fridays, I think, from my understanding, a good portion of people do them, kind of. I mean, I'm not in USG, so I don't know 100%. But if it's too low and it needs more, like results or more input from the community, I know that there was a form sent out previously with like a little bit of case cash as like a, hey, if you do this, we'll give you $3 case cash. Not necessarily saying that, you know, we can always give out case cash, but kind of incentivizing it a little bit, I think is a good way to get that feedback.
Feedback Friday, I love Feedback Friday so much. So I'd probably say most of them. I've been to like 3, 4, maybe 5, something like that. The last one I was on, it was actually for the lighting tour, and it was great. We got a ton of feedback, which was great. We got a lot of areas that, you know, needed better lighting, so things like Bellflower, things like that area between PBL and the law library. So I'd probably say that the Feedback Fridays are great. It's a ton of engagement. It's always kind of fun to, just to get people's attention, ask them questions, try to help them on campus. It's a lot of the outreach type of portion as well, letting people know that we're out here trying to fix things and help them on campus.
Honestly, guys, I don't think Feedback Fridays work that well. I feel as though that our last VP Comms, Aaron, and multiple other VPs have, and even our president Rahman have stressed to us the importance of engagement and like USGGA's participation in these events. But I just don't think that. I feel like it's falling flat. I think a way to make it more engaging is to incentivize it a little more. So one idea that I proposed to GA, especially in my OI, was the fact that I think that we should make it not like a meeting or something that students have to like go out of their way to go to, like set up high traffic, like Tink is a high traffic area, so have tabling in Tink or whatever, and there is a wheel, and each wheel is divided by each committee that's in USG. So say you spin the wheel, it lands on comms. So we have pre-planned questions of like information that we obviously want to elicit out of the student body. How can Feedback Fridays be improved? Or this be a Feedback Friday? And we're getting that information from students, from them, word of mouth, and we must then specifically stress that there are no ramifications for what you say. You can be as honest as possible. You can give us as many critiques as possible, while also staying true to our mission of just getting that information. You want students to be honest and transparent. You don't want them to like backpedal or feel any type of way to answering your questions. You just want them to answer them as honestly as possible. So I feel like doing that, and also giving them like a little reward after, like maybe giving them some USG merch, or giving them some case merch, or giving them candy, or giving them this, because you have to like the risk versus reward and the return on investment is so important. Sorry, I'm taking too long. It's so important when you're thinking about things like this, because students don't want to just give you information and not do that. They want to receive something as well. They want to make sure that they're being heard. So making sure that we're like having some reciprocity in the information that we're getting, and then what we give back to those students.
So Feedback Fridays, I know a couple of people that do them, but for the most part, I don't actually think that a lot of people I know specifically are going to the Feedback Fridays events. But I think that one way that it could be it could receive like more engagement specifically is like if it was like talked about more in the emails, especially because like I was looking into like the emails, like I was researching into it, like like Feedback Fridays, like what's going on here. And the thing is, like a lot of it was not like popping up on my emails, and I think that students really do see it as like they actually, like a lot of my friends do have things that they really want improved like on campus, but the thing is they kind of just don't know where to go about it. But I think that setting up booths in Tink is a really good idea, because like obviously students are like passing through it and things like that. But I think that if we set up booths like elsewhere as well, I feel like that would be like a good idea. For me personally, because obviously like sometimes you're walking through Tink, like you don't want to make eye contact in case you like make eye contact, you're like, oh, I don't know if I like want to say hi to this person or not, so you're like not really looking around, you're not really looking up. But like say like on the quad, like on a nice day or like things like that, I think it would be a lot nicer. And also like I guess the forums are also especially useful, but I think they should also have like their own emails so students can kind of just like see them, and then not just like the other events happening, because I feel like those would be like two different crowds if like you're looking to give feedback and you're looking for like events.
So I have a lot of experience in leadership roles, in communication related things specifically. In high school, I co-founded the Women in STEM Club with one of my friends and was in charge of planning all of the speaker events, managing their social media, sending out emails, leading the meetings, things of that sort. So a lot of what I did there, I think, will translate well to what I would potentially do as Vice President of Communications, as well as I worked as a camp counselor for a while. So for kids ranging from maybe 4 to 10 years old, as their STEM instructor. So creating different experiments every day, kind of keeping the morale up, encouraging participation, harboring like enthusiasm and things like that, is something that I already have experience in, and hoping to translate that to Case Western.
I definitely say, well, first off, I want to say all my competitors, they're great. They're great people. I've gotten to know them, which is nice. But I'd probably say the reason why I'm better fit for this role is just because of the experience that I already have with comms and the experience I already have with the Instagram, with all of the things that comms is doing already. Because I'm on the comms committee and the student life committee, so I'm already blending these two committees together. Making posts on the Instagram with the help of Aaron, the current VP of comms. So I'm already working hand in hand with him on the outreach, on events. So like the feedback mixer that we had in February, I hosted that along with Celine, the VP of Student Life, and Aaron, the VP of Comms.
I would say that I am a stronger candidate versus my competitors only because, one, I'm the only upperclassman running for this role. So I've seen Case through all of their administration changes. I've seen Case through their marketing changes. I've seen Case through their campus environment changes, all of these things. And I think that gives me not a little bit of a leg up just because there is a scope that I have that I feel like my competitors just lack because they haven't been here as long as I have. Also, these people have also not been in USG as long as I have and seen USG through also the changes that they have been trying to implement and what hasn't worked and what has worked. And I also think that it comes to a point where your campus involvements are also something that takes into account. So because I have 2 years on my competitors, I have been in more spaces than they have, and I've occupied more roles than they have. So I just have more experience than they do.
Okay. Well, I don't know a lot about my competitors. I did just see their names today, and I'm sure they're all very strong candidates. But I did do a lot of social media managing in high school, and these were mostly for a lot of service-based clubs. I was secretary for 2 years on student council, so that was sophomore and junior year, and then senior year I went more into like the social media managing of it because I was holding more managerial positions in that. But I think that I would be a strong candidate because my school, like as it was a pretty small high school. And this may seem like maybe this is not great because this is like a huge university, but it was actually like really divided. Like a lot of people just weren't talking to each other. And so the people in a lot of service clubs, what we would basically do is that we would kind of know everyone that was in a service club because that was kind of like a clique of its own. But so we'd have to like find ways in order to branch out to get more students involved, like to like be like to upcoming freshmen like, hey, you should come join this club because of this, or like if they were coming out of middle school, like you should come with us. And I think that just having that experience of like knowing how to like take in feedback and like kind of knowing what the student body would want and be willing to listen to them would make me a strong candidate.
Honestly, I really just want people to know that USG is here for them and that we are doing things and that we just really need you guys to just work with us. I just need you to get on our Instagram. I need you to just come to our events so that we can help you and so that we can, better improve things around here on campus. So thank you very much for your time, everybody.
I would love to serve as VP Comms, guys. I feel like I give direct communication. I feel like I streamline a lot of my processes in my daily life, and that would follow me into my role as VP Comms. I think that it's so important to have not only an upperclassman in this role, but someone who has the scope and the information that has been presented over the past 3 years to sit there and say, hey, this isn't working in USG. It hasn't been working for a long time, and let's make the strides to change those things.